Well, it is the most elite unit in Australian law enforcement. From counter-terrorism operations to high-risk arrests, the Special Operations Group is our last line of defence.
They're as tough as they come, where duty has no limit at all. And this morning, we've been given a no-holds-barred account of what it actually takes to be a member of Victoria's SOG.
We never fail at a job. We can't. I'd come home black and blue.
Everyone inside now!
You're sitting at home waiting for that phone to ring.
Ultra fit, highly trained and completely fearless.
Put the guns down!
Joining the Special Operations Group is no ordinary feat. Only the best of the best make the cut. Christoph Glassel spent 4 years serving in this elite unit, and this morning he's stepping out from behind the blue line. What drew you to the SOG, the Special Operations Group? Why did you want to crack the code, if you like?
I always wanted to join. I thought that that would be the place, the pinnacle of the police force.
How well trained do you have to be to make the grade?
You have to be fit. Absolutely, you've got to be fit. Every day I wanted to pull out of the course. Every single day, because we got flogged, literally flogged physically, electrocuted, gassed, beaten up,
That's
the whole lot. That's during the course, yeah.
Wow. Day in, day out, Chris was subjected to the most confronting of crimes, but there's one mission that still haunts him.
There's somebody going crazy shooting people here. There he is, he's over there.
The Port Arthur Massacre.
This one's a real tough one, because I'll probably get emotional talking about it. Still do.
Clearly one of the toughest jobs of your career, though.
Yeah, it still is,
All the dead and injured were shot during a ruthless shooting spree by a lone gunman. He started firing at 2 o'clock, moving through the historic settlement, spraying bullets from his automatic weapon at random.
I've been back to Port Arthur since then, and I've stood in the Broad Arrow Cafe, which is now just an empty shell. I stood in the middle of it and looked around, and strangely enough, I didn't feel anything. It was a really strange feeling. I thought I'd just be overwhelmed with emotion, but I wasn't. It was a really, I can't put my finger on it why that happened. But yeah, I thought I'd just be bursting into tears in the middle of there, but I didn't. But when I talk about it, yeah, I do. I get very emotional about it.
His tears tell 1,000 words, and it's these experiences you'd think would bring the squad together, but Chris says otherwise.
I thought it was going to be a huge brotherhood, an absolute just tight-knit unit, and it wasn't. When we did a job, differences were put aside. But after the job finished, people just went back to hating each other again.
When the pressure took hold, Chris turned to drugs and alcohol as a means to cope.
When I reflect on my time there, I'm absolutely disappointed in myself. I didn't perform to how I should have performed. I was addicted to drugs at the time.
These days, Chris is in a much better place, finding himself in a different role as a civilian. How much of your work stays with you? Like we're walking the streets at the moment, you're thinking about your surrounds?
I do. I always do, to be honest. I always try to realise who's behind me. I always look at the people that are walking towards me. When my son goes out, he goes out with his mates to a nightclub or something like that. First thing I always say to him is, mate, walk away from any trouble. I said, walk away.
It's this experience as a dad and also a cop that gives him a unique insight into today's youth crime wave. It's scary when you think about how young some of these offenders are, 15, 16, 17.
And they're just getting a slap on the wrist.
If you're the Chief Commissioner of Police, what do you do?
I think that policing's gone pretty soft. When I first joined the police force in 1984, it was tough. We hit the crooks hard and we hit them tough. And they respected us for that. And while his tough facade did eventually crumble, Chris embraces his time on the force with no regrets. I actually love the SOG. All right, I bleed the SOG.
Would you go back to the SOG?
Not now, I'm too old, mate. Yeah, absolutely, I would.
It's a very intriguing story. You can read more of Christoph's story in his new book, which is available in bookstores and online right now.